and already I have lifted it on jack stand and removed the wiper shield for the more access. Okay, so now we have more space, otherwise this area is covered with the wiper shield, or we can call them cowl shield. Okay, so the reason to upgrade the turbo is because this is a general bearing turbo. Okay, I want to upgrade into a dual ceramic ball bearing. Another thing is because the space is so much tight here. Okay, so I will be upgrading with a internal wastegate. This is, as you can see, the external wastegate turbo, and this, to fit this external wastegate, to make the space for that, I had to bend this this exhaust manifold. Look at that, it is making the S. Okay, first turn here, second turn here. Okay, so this limits the exhaust. Okay, so I want to mount the next turbo slightly behind so that all the exhaust is coming straight to the turbo. Okay, no hindrance. So when I delete this, I think I will have more space and delete these bends in the next manifold. So let's begin. Already it is making nearly 350, and my goal for the next turbo is also the same. On high boost I will be making 400 wheel horsepower, and on low boost I will be aiming 320 or 350, because this is a small size car, so 400 wheels is enough power for it. So let's begin. Remove the intake, look at this tiny battery, and look at the crowded space all here. Okay, now next I will be opening these bolts and removing this big thing from here. And another thing, the exhaust bolts, they always become very tight. Okay, I'm trying very hard, but this is not bulging. So always use some type of antifreeze over the exhaust bolt. Okay, now I have to use the heavy artillery. Let's get some breaker bar and the extension bar, and with extended length I hopeful I will be able to open them up. Minor tip, but which is helpful, the rubber hoses, although I have this loosen this clamp, these are very tight. Okay, these are jammed, and if I pry that open, this will break. So what I will do is, with a screwdriver, once I am behind it, I will circulate this like this, then it will become loose. Now time to go under it and open the drain nut right here. Okay, guys, the turbo is off, it's lying here. Almost this one thing I have to use. And next I'll be removing this exhaust manifold, and for next manifold design, as it will be custom design, I will have to remove this valve cover too, because you can see there is no space. Okay, to do the custom wire fabrication, etc, etc. And on my CRZ we did not have to remove the valve cover to custom design the turbo manifold, but it is Honda Fit and it is K24 in it, so it is extra tight in here. So next I'll be removing this, and then we will be starting to design our next custom turbo manifold. Okay, I have removed this cover, the valve cover. And another big reason of the upgrading turbo or changing this was because I heard there was a massive exhaust leak. So, and look at here, that crack. Okay, so I think next time I will not be wrapping the exhaust manifold, because this does not give any room for metal to breathe. Okay, then the metal cracks like that happened. So there was a big crack here and exhaust was leaking from here. Let me show you. This is the turbo manifold which came out of the fit, and look at that huge crack over here. Okay, look at that, almost whole of this is cracked. Look at that. So that's why now I have planned to give turbo some support from behind. There are many holes down there. I'll fix a metal strip support with a nut and then tighten it to the any of the turbo bolts here. Okay, this bolt, so that there will be some support to the turbo, or not all the weight will be hanging to exhaust manifold. And for the material, I had some heavy non-rusting things lying in my home, so I'll be most probably use these quite heavy sturdy and cut them and make the custom bracket. Let's pick the turbo. There was a thunderstorm, everything is dusty and electricity is not restored. Look at that tree fallen over the wires, all the wires are intermingled, so I think the electricity might not be here for the 2 to 3 days. Let's keep working. So look at that, if I play the turbo here, and these are exactly over that bolt I showed you. So what I will do is I will make a bracket which will connect in this or this or this or this hole. Okay, so that will be under support like here, and then I will cut it here and mount it to this bolt. Okay, after nearly 2 hours of effort, I have made this custom bracket. Where it is? Here it is. Okay, so there one nut and the other one is, this one will go over this. At last I have mounted the turbo. Temporary mount. The fitment here is good. As you can see, it is approximating. Just is need is a band clamp which is with me, and that is the bracket I made, custom bracket, and that is the screw, this one, and this bracket. This is holding the turbo. Now this will elevate the stress which was on the header, because the turbo was hanging on the header, and this is the intake. So almost took me 2 hours, and let's now make the custom manifold. On top, this is that big pipe, the 2.5 inches. This is the 4th cylinder going in. Then I showed you down, this is the 2nd, 3rd and 1st. Okay, and then there is this bend, gentle 90 degree and 60 degree, and then the turbo. You can see from behind all the runners going in that big pipe, so it's no big special some sort of thing. Okay, so the Honda Fit manifold, and the previously which I showed, it is right now on my Honda Fit, because now I have shifted to internal wastegate. Okay, that was simple 2.5 inch straight pipe and all the runners going inside, but the location and angles are all the same. Okay, this was the first manifold I designed for Honda Fit, and this is a twin scroll manifold. Okay, it does not matter, the location is the same. Okay, the twin scroll means that each 2 runners of the engine are going in one exhaust and the other 2 are going in other exhaust. This does not matter, but if you have a twin scroll turbo like that, okay, you see 2, so when 2 cylinders are firing, the other 2 are not firing. In twin scroll you always have a exhaust flow in the turbo, so it spools very fast. Okay, this whole set, although it is a general bearing turbo, this even spools like a twin ball bearing turbo. Okay, so it spools very fast because of this design. So I will not recommend going twin scroll. Okay, because today the newer turbos, the Gen 2 dual ceramic ball bearing turbos are so good. Okay, look at, so you do not need this complicated thing. Okay, so let's measure it and show you how to do it. And another thing which I did not tell in the previous video, look at the angle. Okay, this is straight, this is slightly tilted, so that's way it is sitting in the engine. Okay, similarly this is the CRZ one, look at that, it is not straight, slightly tilted, so that way that is mounted to the engine. So right away you can see that is the CRZ one, that is the Honda Fit one. You look at that. This is sitting almost 2 inch higher than that, okay? And let me measure. So the CRZ one almost was 6 inches, and this is almost, look at that, the 8 inches, okay, at the top. So this is slightly higher, and also you can see this is slightly more forward, okay? Look at that, CRZ one, that was just almost 2 inch forward than this, and look at that, this one is nearly 3 inches, okay, to the forward. So slightly more forward, because on Honda Fit we have less space in the back, because mine is JDM Fit and it has less space in the back. Similarly on USA Fit, even the space on the back is the same. The USA Fit has longer the nose, so you have easy installing the intercooler and etc. You will not be needing the half radiator, half AC condenser for the USA Canada fits, okay? But in JDM fits you will have to need the half radiator, half AC condenser, because the front intercooler space is not there. So, and as usual, before designing a bracket, it will be easy if you order the gaskets of the turbo before, so that you can custom design the brackets, okay? These are available online, dirt cheap. And this is external wastegate, and I would not recommend it in the fit, because look at that, this is directly in the path. The exhaust is turning this way, and this is directly in the path. So as soon as the wastegate slightly opens, all the exhaust want to go through the wastegate and not the turbo. So this affects the turbo boost controlling and turbo spooling, okay? So I recommend for a Honda Fit, just go for the internal wastegate turbo, as right now my setup is. Let's compare the side comparison. Okay, the Honda CRZ one is nearly 7 inches above, okay, from this screw, and Honda Fit is nearly this is nearly 8 inches, okay, nearly 8 inches. So Honda Fit one is slightly higher in that, and you can see the runners, they are coming just above and into this manifold. The first cylinder and the fourth are going in one runner, and second and third are going in other runner. This is by the Honda firing order, okay? This should have been like that if you wanna do the twin scroll. But if you wanna go with a single scroll route, just these typical one, then you do not need to direct the runners toward this or this. All can go into the one pipe, like I did in my CRZ. All are going into one pipe. So now we will go back into the car, and now I will be as the turbo is mounted, now I will be doing the water cooling for the turbo. And this is very important for the ball bearing turbos, okay? The general bearing turbo, this one and this one, these does not need a water cooling, okay? That's why you see companies even did not make a water cooling for this, okay? These are just two ports. One, this is the oil cooling feed, and this is the exit. So oil is cooling this, and in these turbos the companies make the cavity of the oil bigger. That's why these tend to cool. But the turbos in which the companies give both the option of the water cooling, for example, this is the oil and this is, I have blocked it, this is the water circulation, okay? This board. So what problem is, now company thinks that people will do the water cooling. That's why the oil cooling or the oil cavity is less in the ball bearing turbos, okay? And the water cavity is bigger, okay? So that's why if you solely give them oil feed, these tend to decrease their life, okay? So let's go back to the car and cut our bumper for the water cooler, and then install the lines to the water cooling of the turbo.